I was gonna ask him about his level 3.
Velma?
Yes, Commissioner?
Yes, I did get, is it just for the cane trucking?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
That's probably a good idea because of this.
Thank you.
Bill? Morning.
Good morning,
Good. Goodie bags.
You're welcome.
Morning. Good morning.
Wayne, can you hear me? How did
I
they,
can.
you missed out on the cute little sanitizer bottles.
Pardon?
You missed out on the cute little sanitizer bottles.
I missed out on what?
Don't try.
A goodie bag that we handed out.
With cookies and
Hard
candy.
to hear. There's a lot of noise in the background.
How's he gonna hear?
Okay.
The microphones aren't turned on yet, right?
Was that Maria that was talking to you?
Aaron.
You want this, right? Can you say something, Wayne? Can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah, is this Aaron?
Yeah. You can hear
Yeah.
yourself. Can you hear yourself?
No. I think Maria was trying to tell me something, but I couldn't hear it. There was a lot of background noise.
Are you on this planet?
The goodie bag with your level 3 hazmat suit.
You missed out on cookies, is that what you said?
Yeah, there you go, cookies. That's close enough.
I would have to eat them with rubber gloves. That's good.
Wayne, you should also be able to hear us if you're on the website. Are you on the Granicus website?
No, I'm not.
We sent you the link.
I'm just on my phone, cell phone.
Okay, well, you should be able to open the link on your computer.
I'm on my iPad. All I have is the
The link.
PowerPoint. I just have the PowerPoint for trucking.
All right, well, just follow along.
I can do it. Don't worry.
John, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. I can hear. I don't have a video link though.
Did you?
We're not doing video.
It's on Granicus. The Granicus link.
Yeah, I know. I went on there, but all I see is the audio feed.
Well, there's also a link for the video feed.
Yeah. What's that look like?
About 6 feet tall. Wise.
I'm on the agenda.
Okay. Well, as soon as it starts, you should be able to. So you can see the agenda right now.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm just going to work off hard copy.
it says in progress, and you should be able to click on the in progress.
Where does it say that? Where does it say that?
To the right of. To the right where it says Planning Commission.
Yeah.
You should be able to see the in progress link and hit the in progress link.
Okay. Agenda.
You'd be able to see a very good-looking gray-haired guy.
Right. All right. Where does it say that? Where does it say that? Wow.
We'll have this done.
Audio. Dang it, I don't want to use that.
How are we going to make sure they're saying the Pledge of Allegiance?
7 years ago.
Oh,
Gettysburg
man.
Address.
Stood on that spot too.
Did you?
Been there twice.
He wrote that on,
Aaron.
on his way to Gettysburg.
Audio.
Alright, so, you should be able, did you find the in progress button yet, Mr. Elliott?
I haven't found it yet. I'm on Granicus.
Yeah, but, so you can see did you see, Velma just moved the agenda item?
Who?
There should be a little bit of delay.
Son of a gun.
You can watch it at home.
So, Aaron, this is Wayne. I'm on Granicus on my iPad. Is it the upcoming events, the in progress, and just tap the agenda?
Yes,
But what do I hit, in progress?
yeah, hit in progress.
Half Augustine.
Okay, got it.
Damn it.
I just printed out the slide set for the PowerPoint, so I can look at that. I can't do two things at once on this.
That's great. That's a good idea.
And then just hit, oh, here we go. Now I've got the audio.
So,
Well, what should I kill the phone feature or just work off Granicus?
you should be able to just work off the, we just want to make sure you're able to access the agenda items, but you should just be able to work off the phone if you've already downloaded the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I've got the PowerPoint.
Okay, well, the only thing is that, as far as, commenting, we're gonna go in order by roll call, so we don't all talk at once, and, we'll do it that way, okay?
Okay,
Is everybody in agreement?
that's fine.
Yeah.
It may be easier to work off my cell phone. There's a lot of crosstalk here.
Well, someone's, got some background noise going, so if you can hit mute until you talk,
Your phone.
mute your phone, so there it goes.
Everybody mute their phone.
All right.
Okay.
So, we ready? So when we're ready for, questions or comments, we'll, go by order by roll call.
Somebody needs to mute their phone. I don't know who it is, but, and then when I do the roll call, you can turn it back on. So I'm gonna do one at a time. So, good morning and welcome to March 25th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting. And we will start with roll call. So those who are on phone, are you here? Wayne? Wayne?
Unmute him.
Unmute, Wayne. John Elliott, are you here?
Here.
Okay, thank you. Now you can mute your phone.
Somebody needs to use their phone. I don't know who it is.
John, did you mute your phone?
One at a time.
John Elliott. Okay, good. Wayne Millies, are you here? Unmute your phone.
Here.
Okay, now mute your phone.
Millie's is here.
Okay. So let's, please announce your name and that you're here, please. Oh, Commissioner Diaz is not, is he here?
I'm here.
Oh, God, okay. I didn't see you. No. Commissioner Diaz is here.
Yeah, Steve Pearson's here.
Maria McElroy here.
Bill Whitlatch here.
Gil Aguilar here.
Okay, those of you can stand, please stand and join me in our flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Wayne, mute your phone, please.
participated.
Okay. So Wayne, is your phone muted?
Pardon?
To mute your phone, please.
I'm using my phone.
No, mute it so we can't hear you because it makes a lot of noise in the background. Please, mute it.
There's
M-U-T-E.
nothing going on in my background.
No, you're in our background. That's the problem. Mute your phone so we can't hear you, please.
Test.
Okay, I think we might be there. At this time, members of the public may comment on any item not appearing on the agenda. If you wish to participate in today's public comment via telephone, please call 636-5045. You'll be connected to the boardroom to address the Planning Commission in the same manner as if you were here in person. Please state your name and address for the record in order to be heard by everyone in the room. Your statements will go out on the live audio stream and will be included in the audio recording of the meeting. Under state laws, matters presented under this item cannot be discussed or acted upon the Planning Commission at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public will be invited to make comments at the time the items come up for Planning Commission consideration. So that all interested parties may have an opportunity to speak, any party addressing the Planning Commission may be limited at the discretion of the chair. And in order to be considered Planning Commission testimony on a public hearing item must be given at the time it's scheduled for the public hearing. Now, is there anyone here that would like to address our Planning Commission, either via the phone or in person on any items not appearing on our agenda in this public comment? Okay, seeing none, I will I can't even get the words out. I will close the public comment and move on to the approval of the minutes. Someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner
Elliott.
have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor? What are we gonna?
One moment,
Aye.
give me a second.
Okay, Commissioner Elliott, do you want to vote on this?
Yeah, well, I thought we were doing a roll call, but yes.
Aye. We already did the roll call.
No, roll call vote, yeah.
Roll call vote? Yes.
Velma, if
Yeah.
you could do the roll call vote.
The roll call vote? Wait, hold on, I'm trying to open this.
I'll second the motion.
Velma, don't do it
I'll second the
electronically,
motion.
just do roll call vote like we used to.
Yes, let me,
Okay, I'll just do a roll call
Aye.
vote and then she can record it. Okay,
he motioned, correct? Yes. Okay, and who second? Gil.
here we are, okay. Okay, roll call, we'll start with the folks on the phone. All in favor say aye.
I did vote. I already voted.
We're doing a roll call, but yes.
John Elliott, was that an aye? Wayne Millies?
Yes, I'm having a hard time hearing everybody.
Was that an aye, Wayne, on the approval of the minutes?
He's muted.
Ed Diaz, did you approve the minutes?
Yes, that's aye.
Okay, thank you. And Gil Aguilar, we'll just go down the dais here. Start with you. Are you in favor?
I already hit the button, yes.
Good, I don't have one.
He seconds, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. Motion
That's an
carried,
aye
thank
for me,
you.
Wayne Millies.
Excellent.
Practice.
Wait till we get something complicated. Moving
I
along to
voted
the
aye,
consent
Bill, on
calendar.
approval of the minutes.
are on the phone, please mute your phones, please. Mute. Okay. Moving on to item 4, consent calendar. Action on all these items in this section will be taken with one motion and vote unless anyone wishing to discuss any one of these items requests that it be pulled from the consent calendar and held over for such discussions. The consent calendar is an untimed item, may be taken up any time during the meeting in the course of today's meeting as the time allows. So there's only one item, it's EOT 20-002 for PSP 18-022. It's a 2-year extension for a special use permit.
Through the chair, this is a consent item, so you could just
I
request.
just kind of abbreviated a little bit, okay?
Right.
So, anyone like to make a motion to approve this extension?
I'll make that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
We have a
Commissioner Elliott, correct?
roll call.
Identify themselves on.
That was Commissioner Elliott that did it. Gil Aguilar is second, okay? Vote.
For PSP 802.
But we have, I called, who did the second?
Gil.
Okay, yes.
Commissioner McElroy?
Yes?
Commissioner Millies? Your vote?
I'll make a motion to approve.
It's already had a motion, we just need your vote that you are a yes, right?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, just, let's get through it.
That was a yes.
Yes. Commissioner Elliott?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz?
Yes.
Commissioner Whitlatch?
Yes.
Pearson? Commissioner Aguilar?
Looks like the motion carried. Moving on to the next item.
Yes.
Anyway, item 5, parcel map, public hearings. Actions, all parcel maps in this section of the agenda will be heard in one public hearing unless anyone wishing to discuss any one of the items requests that it be pulled for a separate hearing. No staff presentation will be given on any item unless requested. In any case, there will be a separate vote on each item. So the public hearing is open, correct? So we'll start with A, tentative parcel map PPM 2001. So we have, there's no comments on these except from my fellow commissioners. If not, do we have a motion to approve PPM 20-001?
Get the closer, right?
Through the chair, if you could close.
Huh?
Can you close the public hearing?
I close the public hearing.
Yeah, okay.
I open and close it every time, huh?
Okay, yes.
Thank you. I got it. Okay, do you have a motion, please? To approve? Somebody make that motion, just read it.
I make a motion to approve categorical exemption investing, that whole part, investing tentative parcel map number PPM 20-001 to divide a 40-acre parcel into 2 parcels. Parcel 1 equals 5.10 acres and parcel 2 equals 34.9 acres in the AE 40 exclusive agricultural 40-acre minimum zone, approximately 212 feet north of Avenue 276, APN 119-110-014, southwest of the city of Visalia. An exception has been requested because the proposed 5.1 acre home site parcel is greater than the 4 acre maximum acreage allowed in order to fully encompass existing improvements, including a driveway
I'll
and
make a
solar.
motion to approve.
Hang on, I'm almost done reading.
Tentative parcel map number PPM 20-001, to divide a 40-acre parcel into 2 parcels. Parcel 1 equals 5.10 acres,
Hearing
and parcel
Maria.
2 equals 34.9 acres in the AE 40 exclusive agricultural 40-acre minimum zone, approximately 212
She only
feet
has to
north
read the
of
bottom part to
Avenue
approve.
276,
Okay.
BPN
Do you see that, Maria? The bottom
119-110-014,
part, the second part.
southwest of the city of Visalia.
Anyway, you read it.
An exception has been requested because the proposed 5.1 acre open parcel is greater than the 4 acre maximum acres allowed in our fully encompassing improvements, including the
Is that
driveway.
because they don't have a phone muted? Is that what's happening?
Okay, roll call, please.
You're not gonna read the cat exempt?
She did categorical exemption, investing
She
tentative.
read the description.
Right, starts with categorical exemption investing map.
Read the whole thing, didn't have to. Okay, roll call. Who
Who's
seconded?
second?
I'll second.
Okay. Gil Aguilar seconded. Yes.
Commissioner Elliott, what is your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz, what is your vote?
Yes.
Millies, what is your vote?
He's getting the, he's gonna wait till that.
Right.
Did you call Millie's?
Yes. Commissioner, what is your vote for the extension of?
Yes, yes.
Okay, moving right along.
Oh, you guys have to vote. You guys vote?
We voted.
Okay.
Moving on to item 5B, I'll open the public testimony. It's the tentative map,
Through the
PPM.
chair, can you state the motion passed, please?
Motion passed. We'll go to 5B, tenant parcel map PPM 2002. If there's no discussion, a motion from my fellow commissioners to approve.
I make a motion to approve categorical exemption consistent with the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and the state CEQA guidelines pursuant to Title 14, California Code of Regulations, Section 15303, Class 3, pertaining to new construction or conversion of small structures, and conditionally approve tentative parcel map number PPM 20-002 with a waiver for final map and exception.
Okay, do I have a second on that? By Gil Aguilar. A roll call?
Commissioner Elliott, what's your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Millies, your vote?
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to item 5C, we'll open the public hearing for tentative parcel map number PPM 2005. And there's no comments. Can I look for a motion from our board? You don't like that, huh?
No, I was talking to.
Okay, okay. Do I have a motion to approve or disapprove, please? Maria?
Okay. I make a motion to approve categorical exemption consistent with this California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and the state CEQA guidelines pursuant to Title 14, California Code of Regulations, Section 15303, Class 3, pertaining to new construction or conversion of small structures, and conditionally approve tentative parcel map number PPM 20-005 and waiver of the final map.
Do I have a second, please?
I'll second that motion.
Bill Aguilar is seconded. Roll call?
Commissioner Elliott, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Millies, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz, your vote?
Yes.
Moving right along to item 6. This is a public hearing. I hope the public, the
Public comment is now open.
public comment is now open to members of the public wishing. Should I read that whole thing about the phone too?
If you could, please, just make sure.
This is a public hearing and to members of the public, if you wish to participate in today's public hearing via phone, please call 559-636-5045. You'll be connected to the boardroom to address the planning commission in the same manner as if you were in person. Please state your name and address for the record in order to be heard by everyone in the room. Your statements will go out live on the audio stream and will be included in the audio recording of the meeting. The timer will be set to 3 minutes, so please adhere to the time limits. And And if you choose to not call in, you may participate by submitting an email on this item to is being heard. Emails should include sender's name, address, for the record. Emails, let's see, emails should include the following subject: agenda item, which this item is agenda 6A, and sent to the clerk of the Planning Commission at planningcommission@co.tulare.ca.us. That is planningcommission@co.tulare.ca.us. Every effort will be made to read your comment in the public record, but some comments may not be read due to time limitations. Comments received after the public hearing has been closed will be made part of the record. If you receive before the end of the meeting, that concludes the instructions for the public hearing, okay? So we're going to move to item 6A, special use permit, PSP 16-056. And I think I have opened the public hearing. I'll just read it briefly. It's a categorical exemption and special use permit, PSP 16-056, to establish a solid waste recycling operation, composting of dairy material requested by Kane Trucking, Inc. Agent is Machado Engineering and Consulting on a 128 portion of a 157.46 acre parcel located in AE, Exclusive Agriculture 40 Minimum Zone. The site is located on the southeast corner of Avenue 152 and Road 72, approximately 4.5 miles west of State Route 99 in the community of Tipton. And we'll start with our staff report, April Hill. Thank you, April.
Good morning, Chairman Whitlatch and Commissioners. Kane Trucking plans to compost a maximum of 200,000 tons of dairy manure each year on the subject site. Composting facility replaces two others previously operated by the company. Project benefits agriculture by hauling, receiving, and processing dairy manure into compost, and materials stored on the site are not hazardous. The land can be reclaimed after the use ceases. The composting facility is required to comply with regulations of the Central Valley Water Quality Control Board's general order regarding general waste discharge requirements for composting operations, other regulations of the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District, Cal Recycle, California Environmental Health Services Division Local Enforcement Agency, the California Department of Food and Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food and Drug Administration, and the other applicable agencies. Agent Macedo Engineering and Consulting prepared a technical report with a water and wastewater management plan for the Water Board. The site has been designed in compliance with the Water Board's general order. Commissioned LSA of Fresno to prepare a health risk assessment for the Air District. The HRA concluded that all health risk levels to nearby residents from project-related emissions would be well below the Air District's HRA thresholds. No significant health risk will occur from project-related emissions, and no mitigation is necessary. The project is required to comply with an Air District composting rules. To reduce of dust, all travelways and composting areas shall be watered at least twice a day during the dry period and as needed during the balance of the year. Misting systems shall be installed, maintained, and operated on the scarab and other composting, turning, or grinding material equipment to reduce the emission of dust. Trucks entering and leaving shall be covered. The applicant also prepared an odor impact management plan for the County Environmental Health Services Division. Fire inspector recommended that the operator monitor temperature of the windrows, provide adequate water supply for fire suppression, and isolate potential ignition sources from combustible materials. Fire lanes will allow fire control equipment access to all operational areas. The Air District and Water Board will not issue their permits until the county completes requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act for the use permit. The project is located outside any urban boundary and is subject to the Rural Valley Lands Plan. Public notice for the project was mailed to surrounding property owners within 1 mile of the property boundaries, also published in the Sun Gazette with a 10-day comment period. Comments were received from a property owner across the street and a nearby neighbor. The latter commented that Avenue 152 between Road 96 and 72 isn't wide enough to handle two trucks or one truck and a car going in opposite directions. And the roads are mostly in poor condition. However, the applicant will explain that he directs most trucks onto Road 72, which is in better condition. Estimated.
May I interrupt, please? I cannot adequately hear the staff report.
Do you have the PowerPoint, Ed?
Yes, I'm on the PowerPoint, but I'm going through my telephone.
Well, I don't know what to do about it, but we
Velma, Ed does have the link to the online.
Yes, the PowerPoint.
Ed, can you hear me?
Barely.
There is a link that we sent you that should allow you to listen online. Do you have that link on your computer?
Ed, this is Wayne. That's what I'm doing, but there's a 45-second delay between the phone and your online.
That's correct.
I understand that, and that's why I'm trying to use the phone so I can follow along with the PowerPoint.
Right.
He also has the PowerPoint.
So you can't use the phone and the PowerPoint if they're in two different devices. I would just use your laptop or whatever you're using, just to listen to the presentation. Okay, I can get over to I had muted the PowerPoint presentation in favor of my phone, so I will mute the phone and listen to the PowerPoint.
And April, if you could speak louder.
Will do.
That would help.
Feel free to yell.
Estimated maximum daily trips, arrivals and departures will average about 139, with 15 daily employee trips, 124 daily trips for deliveries and shipments. Avenue 152 has an average 3,350 average annual daily trips per the county general plan environmental report, and the project would generate about 4% of traffic on Avenue 152. Deliveries will be made in trucks operated by Kane Trucking and parked at their headquarters near Tulare. Operations will fluctuate with the season. Typically, material arrives at the site between May and September. Finished compost will be trucked away in March, April, May, September, October, November, December. Subject property currently contains a dairy that's approved by a special use permit, BSP 9109, and that is on approximately 140 acres of the 157.46 acre subject property. The majority of the composting area facility is on an area formerly used for crop acres. Surrounding properties contain dairies, row crops, and scattered rural residences. The nearest off-site residence is about 200 feet west of the proposed composting facility. One residence is about 200 feet east. Subject to the Rural Valley Lands Plan with a land use designation Valley Agriculture. Project is consistent with relevant elements of the general plan, in particular, Public Facilities and Services Element Policy, PFS 5.3, solid waste reduction, which states that the county shall promote the maximum feasible use of solid waste reduction, recycling, and composting of waste, strive to reduce commercial and industrial waste on an annual basis, and pursue financing mechanisms for solid waste reduction programs. Site is located in the AA40 zone, which allows a solid waste recycling operation with an approved special use permit. The noticing went to a larger 1 mile radius instead of the 300 feet from the property boundaries. Parcels under Williamson Act contract, composting is allowed by county's uniform rules for agricultural preserves with an approved special use permit. Kane Truckee began composting on the site in January 2018. No new buildings are proposed. 3 employees will work on site Monday to Friday between 7 a.m. 5 p.m., Saturdays 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Equipment used on the site will include a compost turner, 2 loaders, water truck. The facility will not be open to the public, and no material from the public will be accepted. As noted earlier, the project benefits agriculture by hauling, receiving, and processing dairy manure into compost. No hazardous materials stored on the site. The applicant is required to comply with the State Water Resources Control Board Regulations General Order, as well as regulations of the Air District, Cal Recycle, Environmental Health Services, California Department of Food and Agriculture, etc. Project qualifies for a categorical exemption from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, consistent with CEQA and the state CEQA guidelines pursuant to Title 14 California Code Regulations, Section 15061B3, the Common Sense Rule. The project does not have the potential for causing a significant effect on the environment and therefore is not subject to CEQA. Composting facility is required to comply with local, state, and federal regulations. Subject site has been previously disturbed by agriculture for several decades. Project will not result in significant impacts, will not require additional public services. Conditions of approval are included to reduce the impacts. Staff's recommendation is in one motion. That ends staff's report. If you have any questions for me or for the applicant or agent, they are in the audience.
So any questions? I'll open up the public testimony and let's listen to see what they have to say, and then we'll have any questions. So the public testimony I've opened, and so those who are in favor of the project would like to make a comment. Would you please come forward, Charlie? No, over there. Good to see you. It's been a long time.
It's great to be here, and always a pleasure to be back in my old home, actually. I spent many hours in this space. Charlie Klaus with C2 Consult on behalf of the applicant, Kane Composting. I'll keep my remarks brief. We're very happy to be here today. It's been quite a journey. I want to thank the commission for holding today's hearing in some extraordinary times, and to see technology brought to bear and allow you to continue to do the county's business. So we're very appreciative of that. I do want to thank April just immensely for her patience and her efforts over the last couple of years as we've worked our way through this and several other processes. We do have 2 pending applications before the Water Board, which I think April commented on, and also the Air District. Both of those are pending today's disposition, so we're appreciative of that as well. I think, the staff report really fully vets a lot of the issues or concerns, and we are fully comfortable and accepting of the conditions of approval, including the added ones that came in over the last day or two. Paul Bersuelos is here in the audience as the applicant and representative of Kane Composting. We're here to answer any questions and help you understand any details that may need further clarification. So again, thank you for holding the hearing today. It's much appreciated.
Don't go, Charlie. Don't go.
Stay up there.
Hang out.
Stay up there. So my fellow commissioners were remote. Do you have any questions for the consultant? Ed?
I have a question. This is John Elliott.
And also the Air District.
Yeah, I was wondering what are the surrounding parcels planted in?
There are a couple of dairies nearby. I think you could articulate the vast majority of the surrounding property would be row crops that are rotated seasonally. But there must be 4 or 5 dairies within close proximity.
Okay, that makes sense.
Wayne, do you have any questions? Ed?
No questions from Ed.
Wayne? Guess not. So my fellow commissioners, would like to ask Charlie any questions?
I have
Go
a
ahead, Maria.
question.
Go ahead.
So they will be bringing from various dairies to this location? Is that what's gonna happen?
That's correct. The process starts with the dairyman who stockpiles material on their site for up to 120 days. Then the cane composting material is taken to the site, and the process starts there, which takes anywhere from 120 to 150 days to get through the composting process. Then the material is moved off-site to various farmers throughout California. It's a certified product that is specifically done in a way that allows it to go onto food stock or food crops. So that process is ongoing through the season.
I didn't see any complaints on, like, material that gets dropped on roads. Is that gonna be an issue, or how are they gonna control that?
Paul, you want to talk about how the material is transported?
And you both can stay up at the microphone, it's okay. Just give us your name.
6
and-
feet apart, though.
Apart, but don't go sit down. Your name, sir?
Good morning, Paul Barcelos with Kane Trucking. Yeah, so we do transport by truck, it's all side dumps or walking floor belt traders type of material. You know, it's the equipment we use. The finished product gets loaded up, scaled out, then we ship it out, and I mean, the finished product's all organic, so it's certified. Food safety, we do the whole criteria testing for all that. I mean, it gets delivered all the way from the coast, the Grapevine, all the way up into Sacramento. Yeah, everything in between. So it's, you know, it's a lot of moving parts to make this whole thing happen here. But you know, all these dairies, that's a big issue. What do you do with all this manure? You know, with all this air water deals, they got to do a lot of testing in their fields. You know, and it's got to have a place to go. So this is a good way to do it, and plus it's beneficial for the crops. You know, kind of kills out all the weed seeds and all the bad pathogens. You keep all the good stuff in there, and everything's available to the plants right now. You know, so it's a good product. But we consolidate all to one yard just to try to keep it simple, and plus we bought that property, so we don't have to try to reason on why we should persuade the property owner on why we should stay there or keep renting to us, you know. So that's why we're making the step here and go all the way through with it. So.
And so there's real no spillage that's happening in between the transportation onto the roads?
Onto the roads. I mean, if you get any spillage, you know, sometimes if we're pulling out of the dairies, the door might pop open when we're hauling the raw material in. Usually it pops open on the dairy facility. But if it's bad enough where it's too wet to haul, we don't haul it. We can't do it because we do not want to get material on the roads because that can create a hazard for anybody driving through there. You know, but there is issues, not with us, but we do see other companies out there that, you know, that is a big thing. And if it's somewhere near to us, we'll go there with our loader and just kind of clean it up just to help out the situation because we don't want nobody to, I mean, we're about safety too just as well, you know, on this whole thing, you know, being in the trucking industry and everything. And part of this county for 90 years, I think 2025 it makes 100 years for King Trucking being a business, so.
Thank you.
And through the chair, we did.
This is Wayne, I have a question.
Okay.
And I guess more directed to staff. Have we addressed this letter from Lower Tule River Irrigation District relative to their concerns dated March 16th?
Through the chair, as I understand it, they do not have any waterways near this facility. So I think it was kind of a boilerplated letter in case there was any facilities near this location. So I don't know if we need to address anything further. I mean, they're basically admitting they don't really have a stake in this, but they were sitting.
So this was just a position paper on their part?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to say we do have a condition that all loads are covered And DMV regulations do control that all loads are covered consistently. So it's a little bit different than transporting manure around just around the county, that they have a higher threshold for these type of facilities.
And do you haul from the dairies to your location?
We do.
So you contract with the dairies too?
Yeah, so we got agreements with a lot of the dairies. I mean, all around where the compost yard is at right now, that what we're talking about, I mean, every dairy around there is our customer, and it stretches out pretty far.
And I would just this is Aaron Bach again. I'd just like to state for the record that when they started this process, they were in compliance, but the general order changed how composting was looked at. If you are trucking in manure now, that needs a permit, so that we didn't initially have permits for composting of manure, but now we do because of that. So they've been practicing out there for a while, and they've been working with all the regulatory agencies, including solid waste, through this process. So I also like to commend them for getting the agencies off our back as well as we've been working through this process.
Been a long one.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyone else like to comment on this project? It doesn't seem like.
A few questions.
Willach, we should, Commissioner Willach, we should allow a few moments so that the public, if they want to call into the 626
Go
or
ahead, Maria.
5045 number.
Do we wait for the public to call in?
No, go ahead.
So, couple questions, and I was trying to find it in here, but I read this morning somewhere about that if there was going to be any construction in this area because of the hawk or a bird that was seen, that might have to require the services of an environmental consultant. And I just wanted to know, because it looked to me like some of the operations would occur during this bird season. So I wanted to know what your plans are for that.
Yes, so as I understand, that was a late arriving comment, and some conditions were added to the conditions of approval. We reviewed that and would offer a couple of comments for your consideration. First, the conditions are acceptable to us. We understand what the issue might be. We have no plans for construction as defined that would qualify for the need to do those pre-construction surveys. The site is basically developed in the context of structures or any of those kinds of construction activities. If, however, in the future something happened, we would certainly comply with that. So we're aware of it, comfortable with it, and accept the conditions.
Okay. I have 3 more questions, if that's okay.
You can have 4.
Yay. I'm known for that, so. All right. The second was on the Tula River Irrigation District. There's a ditch, maybe it's not technically a waterway, but there's an irrigation ditch running by by the facility. Is there any reason why there might be discharge into there? Is it far enough away that the ditch is protected?
Yeah, my understanding is that both the site design as proposed, as well as the permitting that will go through the Water Quality Control Board, will not discharge into that.
Okay. And then on the roads, I don't know how heavy these trucks are, but I know when I was going to get a load of dirt dumped at my place once, it was with a small truck. It was a pretty big truck, and they said they would not drive over my sidewalk because it would crack it.
Mm-hmm.
How would the trucks that your client or your client would bring in, how would that affect the condition of Road 72, which is gravel?
So in a lighthearted way, I'd say this is quality manure that's known throughout the world as lightweight manure, but I won't go there. The trucks are currently directed to use Avenue 144 and Road 72 for access, and that also plays into an additional condition of approval that came in late, which we totally agree with in terms of direction of access. 72, as I understand it, has just been maintained, if you will, or some attention has been brought to bear by the county. And 144 is in better shape than 152, so By design and current operations, all truck activity is generally directed towards Road 144, or Avenue 144, sorry. There are a couple of clients that use the cane processing facility, and so those trucks would use 152, but there's only 2 or 3 facilities that access that.
Okay, and I have one more question for you, but I have a follow-up first for Aaron on this road question. If there were any reason to believe that trucks were causing damage to the road, would they be required to fix that, or is that a county issue?
To answer your question straightforwardly, no, they would not be required to fix the road. The county maintains the road mileage ourselves, so we've never had conditions put upon composting projects before to fix the roads.
Okay. And then my last question, pending any other questions that
You
come
can
up.
have 2 more if you want, it's okay.
Okay, I'm coming. My question related to the email that came in, probably along with those late conditions, was one of the neighbors had expressed concern about routing, and is that something that was taken care of?
Yeah, so I believe the email that you referred to was talking about truck activity on on Avenue 152. And currently, the operational program directs all their trucks, which they control, to use Avenue 144 to come in and access off of Road 72. So they direct all their trucks away from the road that the email addressed. And so by design, they're trying to put little or no truck traffic onto that.
I'll reserve, thank you.
I believe that's a condition of approval now, which we accept, so, yeah.
I'll reserve my question, Mr. Chairman Whitlatch. I'll reserve my final question that I get.
Oh, boy, I'm looking forward to this. Any other questions? Does anyone else like to come forward and talk about this project?
Mr. Chair, we do not have any phone calls for this project.
Okay, and we didn't get any phone
And
calls?
emails?
And emails, no.
No emails either.
So I will close the public testimony, correct? And we will go to the commission for comments or a vote.
As a comment, I'd like to see these projects because I think they are good for our county.
So is that a motion?
And I've known King Trucking for a long, long time as a resident of Tulare, so. Yes, I'd like to make that motion to approve a categorical exemption pursuant to 14 California Code Regulations, Section 15061B3, the Common Sense Rule, consistent with California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and the state CEQA guidelines, and conditionally approve special use permit number PSP 16-056.
It was moved by Commissioner Aguilar. Thank you very much. And do I have a second, please?
I'll second. John Elliott will second.
Pearson already did it.
Pearson did, okay, and so roll call?
And then open the vote. Go ahead, Commissioner Aguilar, motion.
You got it, Commissioner Aguilar? Okay.
Have Commissioner Elliott, he's second, correct?
Seconded? Okay, roll call?
Commissioner Elliott, what is your vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Millies, what is your vote?
Yes.
Thank you. And Commissioner Diaz, what is your vote?
Yes.
Thank you.
So the motion has been approved by the Planning Commission 7-0. Thank you. We're getting closer to going home. So we're going to go to the director's report at this time.
Through the chair, Aaron Bach, Planning Director, Tulare County Resource Management Agency. By way of report, we did go to the County Planning Directors Conference last week. And although none of the planning directors went home, and there was only 2 no-shows, so you know, we stuck it out. And, we did gain some good information. Only one, agency in the whole valley, was not compliant with Sigma. And that was in Madera County, and that was about 2,000 acres. So it looks like, DWR has a full slate of documents in front of them to review. And I think, Aaron Facudo from TID calculated they'd have to go through one every 12 days to keep consistent with the legislation. So given these times, I wonder if they're gonna be capable of that. So, it's gonna take them a while to catch up to Sigma. But regardless, we're still moving forward with the annual reports that are required by Sigma. So you turn in your GSP, and the next month later, you have to turn in your annual report. So those are getting turned around pretty consistently right now. So the other thing that was interesting was we did look into the vehicle mile travel legislation, and we sat through a seminar with the OPR and with the Fair and Pierce, their consultant. And some of the questions that were raised was, you know, how would what's CEQA doing with VMT right now? And we're in this little.
But regardless, report are required by
You wanted to hear yourself again.
Can you mute that? Anyway, so, just to answer some of Mr. Millie's questions as well. Cities are all over the place right now, cities and counties, as far as where they're at with their VMT studies. And so the question is, under CEQA, recent litigation has shown that we're kind of in this middle land where level of service isn't applicable anymore, but VMT isn't required yet. So it's kind of a little break from getting sued under traffic right now under CEQA. So, you know, we are doing everything we can, and we foresee having ours done in compliance with the state
where they're at,
in July.
VMT study. And,
The only thing I can do is turn it off.
so the question is, under, what
I can turn the speaker off.
Or ask
Yeah,
Wade to mute
that's
himself
better.
again.
So,
Figure it out.
So the cities are a little bit all over the place. Most have not addressed VMT yet, and they're, as far as from what I heard from Fair and Pierce, most are probably not going to make that July deadline. So, but there is cities that are finding their impact fees consistent between level of service and VMT. Suddenly they match. And they have nexus through their own findings, so the impact fees are going to probably stay the same, because given the timeframes in the failure to address this immediately, they're not going to have time to update their impact fees. So we'll see the cities coming in all over the place, but the question about whether you needed to get your tentative map approved right now is really if you don't want to be caught with uncertainty. And I think uncertainty is even more prevalent right now as far as development and tentative maps. So the answer is yes, get them approved as quickly as possible, especially if you're going to get a CEQA challenge, because the courts are going to probably give you a free break right now in case you get sued or challenged. We did find we are. We'll probably have to come back with a ordinance in regards to junior ADUs, as far as the ability to put units inside of units. We are in compliance with the minimum requirements for secondary ADUs on properties, yeah, especially with when we just approved the ability to put accessory units, up to 5 units in the PDFM zone. Some counties do not look at accessory units the way we do.
because we look at those as secondary units. Some say accessory units have to be not necessarily residential units, but the county's never looked at it that way. So we are in compliance for the most part, but we will have to come back with an ordinance for junior ADUs. But for the most part, we haven't seen any of those yet. We've seen triplexes and duplexes, that if they have to come back to the planning commission, they'll have to, but for the most part, we are in compliance. I think one of the other biggest things we are seeing is on the grant funding side of things with the sustainable grants we've gotten historically. A lot of those have been put on hold over the next year. So we are trying other mechanisms as far as getting some of the state's help and assistance and continuing some of the grants we have ongoing. But one of the blows to us was the Matheny tract we got, and we were one of only 4 grant proposals that were awarded funding. They put the implementation funding on hold, the state did. We haven't found out why, but we are gonna use their technical assistance programs to keep the grant alive and stay in their ear as we try to move forward. Because the city of Fresno got over $70 million in implementation grants that followed off of this planning grant. So we're gonna stay after that. One of the last things that we did find very interesting was how many agencies are currently getting sued under their wildfire and resiliency and not addressing the state needs. Again, when and I'll bring forward probably next time the general plan initiations we did over the last year to try to address all these things so that development can move forward without somebody finding little holes in our general plan to pierce through. One of those is wildfire resiliency, and obviously that's a great concern in this county. So we are moving forward with our safety element amendment, and we're using some of the SB2 funding we just got to do that. But it's interesting, Oxnard is getting challenged on development projects for wildfire resiliency. So if your general plan doesn't address VMT, wildfire resiliency, and have the housing ordinance down to a T in the future, it'll open up our general plan to potential litigation.
Doesn't Ventura County, if you want a subdivision, they have to vote on it, the people do? Is that still the?
I don't know if that's still a law. I know many jurisdictions do have ballot box subdivision approval, or I should say, I've seen where I used to work up north, Davis, deny anything that had to get annexed, even after the planning commission and the city council approved it. So that wouldn't surprise me if Ventura still had those laws in place. But there are some agencies that, like us, if something's going to move forward with a zone change or general plan initiation, especially in buffer areas, has to go through that process on the front end, and then some agencies on the tail end allow ballot box denial power of the citizenry. So I think there'll be a probably change to that ultimately in the state. Again, if they did deny it and it was a affordable housing project, the state would be able to come back in and process it themselves. So that's my report in a nutshell. Unless I really do appreciate everybody showing up today. I know this is a learning process and a learning curve, and I do appreciate all the gifts we got today as far as gloves and antiseptic and everything else.
I feel it's our responsibility as planning commissioners to come to these meetings because it's our way of keeping the economy moving in Tulare County. And apparently our staff feels the same way as well as the board. So I will come, there's not that many people who come, and so I think we're safe. But we have to keep the economy moving, and so these people pay money to be heard. And so I will be here, and I would say that my fellow commissioners will be here either by phone or in person. So is there any further
And since the tax has been extended, the next one's April 14th, right? Yeah. I had not planned to be here, but now I can be here.
Well, that's good, thank you. So, maybe,
We will try to, if we can, get Zoom working, but again, there'll always be that delay. But if we can get Zoom to a point where there won't be a delay, we'll try to operate off of that. But there'll be a learning curve there as well. We'll try to practice over the next few weeks.
anyway, thank you to all our staff and the other folks who came, and if there's no further business,
I get my last question, right?
one more.
Okay. It's very, very small compared to all the items we've seen, but I just wanted to know how, you know, the little free libraries that people put a box in their yard and they hand out books and things like that from there. How are those treated in the county? Because I got my answer from Dinuba. I was wondering if because I have people asking me and I don't know how to respond to that, whether they need to get a permit as an accessory structure or whether it's treated like a birdhouse, you can just stick one in your yard.
I'll definitely get back with an absolute answer to you,
Okay.
but just off the top of my head,
They're
you know,
small.
yeah, no, I don't see any problems I personally would not require a permit for anybody to go through a process. You know, it's different from a sign or a monument or anything else like that. And it's not really a structure. So I think we'd be hard pressed to force a permit, an entitlement for that, for sure.
And the last thing I had was more of a comment, and it's only related to planning in the use of the word planning. It's not, you know, permitting or anything like that. Since we're talking about unprecedented times, anybody, whether they're here in the chambers or listening, who is able to sew CDC compliant masks for Cahuilla, I would encourage that because they're stockpiling homemade masks in anticipation or planning for the possibility that they might not have the ones they would normally use.
And we have staffs, families who are actually actively sewing right now, so
Okay.
we are fully supportive.
Good.
I hear elastic is hard to come by, though.
I got it all. No, elastic is hard to come by, but per my Cahuilla contacts, ties are equally acceptable, but they should extend probably 15 to 17 inches beyond the edge of the mask.
Maybe you could contribute my old underwear in elastic and you could use it, recycle it.
Clean only. All right.
That was inappropriate, huh?
No, it's just a comment because you can't
Time to
plan
go.
for random stuff. You can just get it in the best possible condition that you can.
Right.
Yeah, so.
My 14-year-old granddaughter is doing it, and, well, she's off to the school.
Yeah. I took a day off yesterday, and it's slow going, but you got to do something, you know? Yeah, okay, that's my stuff.
If there's no other comments, I'll close our meeting, and we will reconvene April 15th.
14th.
15th in my,
You gonna be here?
Yeah, I won't be here on July 15th, but April 15th, yeah.
oh, we don't care about that. Anyway, God bless all of you. Have a great day.
Push the